Welcome to Mamahood After Trauma, where we stop pretending and heal out loud. I'm Emily Cleghorn, trauma survivor, cycle breaker, and mama rebuilding from the inside out. If you're ready to break cycles, trust yourself again, and rise without shame, you're in the right place. Let's go. Before we dive in, I want to introduce you to something brand new. If you love the podcast and want a deeper connection to your healing, check out the monthly Peace Pack, a small trauma-informed tool delivered each month straight to your mailbox to help you find calm in the everyday. You'll also get access to our private Patreon community where mamas like you can share, support, and learn together. Sign up with the link in the show notes. Hello, and welcome to the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. I am thrilled that you have taken some time out of your busy mama schedule to tune in and listen to our conversation today. Today, we are honored to be joined by Allie Ryan. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here today with you, Emily.
Yeah, it's nice to have you. It's when we had our conversation before recording, we found that we had a lot to talk about. So friends, I believe that you are in for a treat today because Allie and I have a lot to talk about. And so I'm not really sure what you're going to get, but I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be gold. So
I agree. I think there's so many different directions and we're probably going to have to tone it down.
Yeah.
Or just not, because, I think a lot of recovery after trauma is how to actually not shut yourself down. So it's like, maybe we'll just be as big and go as many directions as we want. Time being the only factor.
Yeah. So, Allie, let's get started by you introducing yourself a little bit and sharing how you came to work in the trauma recovery space.
Yeah, I would love to. So, my name's Allie Ryan. I'm a mama, a trauma recovery human, and also someone who, after reclaiming so many different parts of myself that I realized wasn't hidden and fractured and had been put away because of trauma, there was so much of my world that opened back up to me. And what really was so apparent was how many parents, including myself, were so cut off from themselves, their kids, their lives, and just this overwhelming feeling of, oh my gosh, I want to help more parents. I know every day having conversations where I can just feel like this little piece would be so helpful for this person to have. And so a lot of my passion and even my own work has been how to continue to reparent myself as I'm raising my kids. I have a 19, 17, and 12-year-old. And so it's like this whole new era of also my healing, because one thing about trauma is, especially if we've experienced it when we're young, sometimes going through those experiences, watching your kids have those and being able to give them something different requires me being very, very present and not actually repeating teenage trauma through my kids.
Yeah. That I've heard, and I remember a bunch of years ago, a veteran mama, a seasoned mama, talking to me and saying, Emily, you're going to have to pay attention, because when your daughter hits the age that you were, when the bulk majority of your trauma happened, it could bring up things that surprise you. And now that I'm there, I'm looking at my daughter and thinking about the survival skills that I had to have at that age. And I'm just mind blown. Like, holy cow. So can you share a little bit about your practice and um how that goes?
Yeah, absolutely. Practice as in what I do with my clients or what
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
in my, because I'm like, practice could go a lot of different ways because I'm also
Yeah,
so
it could. It
spiritual.
could.
Yeah. So, and I think also it's like one and the same because a lot of the work that I've done for myself has like, I'm first and
Yeah.
foremost in terms of my own client. But a lot of what the practice looks like with clients is they come to me and they're just so tired of feeling the
Mhm.
way that they're feeling. They're so tired of feeling burned out,
Mhm.
anxious, depressed, angry. They're so tired of the roller coasters of feelings, right? Feeling like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
one
yeah.
day, like, okay, I've got it, going to be okay. And then the next day, like the roller coaster of whether it's receiving an email, whether it's something,
The
the
trigger happens.
trigger happens, right? And then it's like, where did it go? Right. And then this
Yeah.
judgment, right? So there's a
Mhm.
lot of judgment,
Shame.
there's a lot of separation from self. And so a lot of the
Yeah.
practice starts with just creating just a really safe place to be seen. Because so much,
Mhm.
right? What makes trauma usually is the incident happened, whatever that was, or over time, but there was no support, right? Usually my clients they are so just deeply craving, like, please just see what I'm going through, right? Just experience. And so there's such a gift in just witnessing their feelings, witnessing their story, witnessing them and honoring that. With that, like there's a really important piece here of just that trust building, right? Just creating
Yeah.
this environment of like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm not going to there's no fixing, right? There's no fixing. Then we start really kind of creating, there's a lot of usually a map, right? And I like to what I call it like a nervous system mapping, because what I want is
Mhm.
for my clients to understand themselves a little bit more. And so
Yeah.
pretty quickly into the trust building and the exploring is, okay, so how does the world feel when you feel open? When you feel
Yeah.
loving, when you feel calm, like tell what are the thoughts you have? And then we go to, okay, and when the world feels scary, right? When
Mhm.
you're feeling maybe shut down, what does the world feel like? When you feel angry, how do you view the world? Because knowing where we go when we're triggered and what we're thinking and how
Mhm.
we're surviving, really like kind of how you mentioned, really helps us sort of notice the patterns. And when we
Yeah.
start notice the patterns, when there's more awareness, we can actually create a little bit of a pause. We can really create okay, how do I want to experience this differently? But first, just you have to notice when your brain is getting overwhelmed, when it's getting overloaded.
Yeah. 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 I want to take a second and go back to where you started because I know I've been there. I'm sure you've probably been there of just feeling so tired of being on the hamster wheel.
Mm,
One day, one day is a great day and you've got it
we're
secured.
good.
We're
Nobody wants
good. We're
help.
golden.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
Yeah.
And then the next day, a trigger happens and it feels like all of the work that you did is gone and you're back at square one.
And
And
where did
that
it
just,
go? Right? Like where
yeah,
did the
where
world
did it
go?
go? Like, did
Yeah.
I, did I really like misjudge that? Like
Yeah.
that, that feeling, if you're listening right now and you're sitting there thinking, good golly, Emily, like, are you spying on me? Like,
Mhm.
Mama, you are seen and you are not alone in that feeling. I know how lonely that feeling can feel, but you are not alone in that feeling. And,
And you're not making it up, right? So
and you're
much of
not
it is the
making it up.
gaslighting of like, wait, did I really have it together before? Wait, am I actually triggered? Wait, am I making all this up? Like, there's so much like confusion. And
Yeah.
again, it's like, where are my tools? Who am I?
Yeah.
Am I a child again? Wait, I have
Yeah.
children, right? Like, you're not making it up. It's okay.
Yeah. And, it might that trigger might throw you off for the rest of the day. It might throw you off for an hour. It might throw you off for the rest of the whole darn week.
It might. It totally might. I love that you're
It
being honest.
could.
It might. Yeah.
Could. I know that I've had it happen.
Mhm.
Something happened where I I lost my cool, or I felt unseen or unheard, and it threw off the rest of my week because my nervous system couldn't recoil. It it couldn't. It just didn't have the elasticity
Yeah.
to recoil. And that doesn't, if you're in that spot, that doesn't mean you're broken. It just means your nervous system needs a lot of love. It's not the enemy, friend.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah. It means you got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It means, like, I love the elasticity. It means that something just took you out of your window of tolerance.
Yeah.
And mine was like this big, maybe
Oh,
even smaller
yeah.
for a long time.
Mine was a peephole.
So yeah. So my ability to stay in, to feel my feelings and to stay in my body for so long was very small.
Yeah.
And
So
that
was
didn't
mine.
mean something was wrong. It meant that my body was so brilliant in
Yeah.
knowing how to protect me and keep me alive, because those are the mechanisms that literally kept me safe and
Yeah.
surviving
Yeah.
up until I realized that that way it was doing it wasn't actually helping.
Yeah.
But it's still like we have to have so much love for those responses, because
Yeah.
that's literally our survival mechanism.
Yeah. It's not the enemy.
Yeah.
It,
Actually,
it
like
and
your closest friend, right?
yeah. Yeah. It's your friend. Like, your body has one goal, and that is to survive.
Yep.
And healing from that spot is possible. I mean, I'm here talking to you, Allie's here talking to you. If we can come back from having a nervous system that is super, super fragile, from living in survival mode, mama, you can too.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. And we are here, we are here to tell that tale. And also, like, this has taken me a while, but I really am here now to, and I believe this, that the goal, because of my own perfectionist, high achieving, for so long, the goal was like, when I'm healed, this won't
Yeah.
happen anymore. And I
Yeah.
think that we also have to be really clear about that. The goal is never to be triggered. The goal is to never, because our brain is always going to have that same goal. The brain
Yeah.
is not suddenly going to be like, my goal is to make you happy, Emily. How can I make you happy today? Right? Like, your brain is still your brain. And resilience is a thing, and compassion, and turning toward maybe the shame or the pain or the resistance that you feel is actually the way through. But oh my gosh, like, to really just release the, when I'm healed. Like, healing is my whole life, and it is for all of us. And it's okay.
Yeah. 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 Healing is not a destination. It is a
It's taken
journey.
so long to just embrace that and let it
Yeah.
be okay. Like, let that be okay. That doesn't
Yeah.
somehow mean that then I'm worthy of love or worthy of care or worthy of then friendship and community. Like, right now, as is, we're worthy and whole.
Just as you are right now, my friend.
And that in and of itself can be a really sweet place just to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, thinking of, pardon me, these mamas who maybe are early on in their journey, and they're having those days of the hamster wheel, what are one or two tools or strategies that they can take with them from our time together right now?
Yes. So there's two things. There's so many, but the first things that come to mind, the one thing is just recognizing, for me, that that hamster wheel or that feeling is temporary,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, just like when we see our kids having a tantrum or having a really big emotional moment, like
Mm-hmm.
we're not sitting there thinking this is going to be forever.
Yeah.
We have to take that on for ourselves of like this moment or this day or this hour or whatever it is temporary. And like remind that part of yourself that doesn't understand time, because usually
Yeah.
that's where it is, right? Like that little part of me or that little part of you or whoever's listening, like, I promise you, this is not forever. Because for me, like that would always make it so much worse. Because I, of course, when I would get triggered, it's a very small part of me that doesn't even understand time. So that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Just even knowing like, okay, this feels really hard and this is really, God, this is excruciating, but it's not forever. We
Yeah.
also get to slow the hamster wheel down. One thing I was going to say is, hey, let's just get off the hamster wheel. But for a lot of people, we don't even know sometimes we're on it. But what we
Mm.
can do is we can slow the wheel down. And what I mean by that, and you can even hear in my voice, when we get activated, our thoughts, they speed up.
Mm-hmm.
Things speed way up. And then it becomes all of these other, and then we're in a spiral, right? Then we're in a shame spiral. And then we're even more gone.
Yeah.
And that's often where I would go because the judgment, the sharpness, the bitterness, the isolation, right? I would just, because we re-traumatize ourselves
Yeah.
because our brain just does what's familiar. So slow the wheel down. And what happens when you slow things down or even just those voices in your head, right? That judgment, that anger, that criticism. Maybe even you get to imagine that you can turn the voices down a little bit. And the way that I like to do a lot of my work with clients is in this metaphorical way, because that's how our subconscious actually speaks. It's its natural language. So when we actually get to imagine that we have some power over what's happening in this thing that is called our body, we actually create a lot of empowerment and like efficacy, self-efficacy,
Yeah.
right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you go down that, when you allow yourself to go down that shame spiral, it can be, the further down you go, the harder it is to claw your way out.
Oh yeah.
And I know for me, when I would allow myself to spiral down that shame spiral, there is nothing anybody else could say to me that was worse than what I was saying to myself.
Why do you think we do it? Right? It's like
Exactly.
why we will be the number one. And I think also for your listeners, like sometimes for me early in my journey, it's like, Emily, I would never allow myself to go down a spiral. Right. But so it's like, for me, it's like, I love the language because once we become aware of it, then
Yeah.
we have power over, am I going to allow this to keep going?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The triggering incident might happen, whether it's a slammed door, whether it's
Yeah.
a conversation with whatever it is. There's triggering things. And then there's how do I hurt myself after? Right?
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but like the judgment, the anger, the criticism, that is like re-injuring. It's like putting salt on that original wound. We don't have to
Yeah.
do the salt.
No.
Don't have to
No.
go down that spiral.
And the whole key to that, getting out of that trigger reaction guilt cycle, hamster wheel,
Mhm.
is the awareness.
Yes.
And it's a muscle. Just like going to the
Yes.
gym and building
Yes.
your abdominal muscles or your pelvic floor muscles so you don't pee your pants when you cough. It takes time and it takes practice.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that analogy, you can still do these exercises. And darn it, sometimes I still cough and I pee my pants. Like it's sometimes like, oh, darn it still happens. Darn it, I thought I knew the trick. So it's like, we're just like, okay, because our brains are patterning machines. And so we have
Yeah.
to build that skill, have a lot of intention with it, and also still have the compassion of like, I'm still on my happen. It's gonna be okay. Well, but and it's just a brain trying to help,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I think the joy and the humor is like, I think another thing that's really helpful too, right? Is like,
Yeah.
man, it is so heavy.
It is
The
heavy.
world right now is so heavy, and like having these moments where we can laugh or we can have like a little bit of levity is
Yeah,
like so it's like medicine, you know, it really is.
it really is. And having those people in your life who can understand what you're navigating and give you the space to feel
Yes.
and to navigate it
Yes.
is
Yes.
is huge. We humans were created to be in community. And so it's it's makes me scratch my head all the time why we think we need to heal in isolation, because
Yes.
when you have a community of people around you who get what you're dealing with, because they've either been there, done that, or they're doing that right now, um, is is transformational.
It's 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 so important because like we are a relational species and also healing
Yeah.
is relational. And also usually trauma is usually related to something relational.
Yeah.
When you were saying that, what I was thinking about is how that has been such a huge part of my journey, but also
Mhm.
the wound of isolation as a kid was
Mhm.
very prevalent in my family too, because there was a lot of isolation. I mean, growing up in a sort of this atomic sort of family where there was already, you know, there's a lot of intergenerational trauma in my family.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of cut offness from my family
Mhm.
and even ancestors. And like I remember even just a few years ago realizing like, wait, so we're not supposed to do it all on our own? Like from a
Yeah.
child, right? These very long, rooted, deep rooted patterns, like getting into community, finding
Mhm.
friends, finding other people who are going through something similar, who are even if it's hobbies, right? Like it doesn't have to be like a trauma healing circle. For me, like joining a storytelling community has been very healing for me, but also going to yoga and finding other people who have a passion and going to the storytelling, going to dance, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like the healing itself as the group, but
Yeah.
just knowing that you don't have to be alone
Yeah. You
and
don't have
just
to.
going like for me has been revolutionary and has really it's been like almost quantum leaps in terms of the healing because
Yeah.
I'm not still almost like re-injuring that small part of myself that believes that I have to do it alone because that was also my reality when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
there's so much here. But yes, we are such a relational species. And also there's a lot of conditioning that we're under we
Oh,
are
yeah.
supposed to be alone.
Yeah.
So that's BS.
Yeah, it's all garbage.
It's all garbage. You know, this idea that we're supposed to somehow like fix ourselves in the dark, right?
Yeah.
That we're supposed to like fix it alone in our home and have the almost like the facade of the house look perfect. It's like that is Instagram again, garbage. And
Yeah.
that's not real. That is not real. And if you're spending time with people who want you to pretend to be like all fixed, but don't actually want to hear about what's real, they might not be your people.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't do that fake facade performing thing
I
anymore.
don't either.
But
I
Emily,
cut some people off sometimes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
that's
people don't
okay.
really like the authenticity, but
Because they
that's
don't, I mean,
okay.
oftentimes they don't know how to be authentic within themselves. And so when,
Exactly.
you know, I encounter that a lot too. And again, that's part of the healing is there's nothing wrong with me here.
Yeah,
It's not about me. Their discomfort is not about me.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
theirs.
Their discomfort is theirs to
Yes.
deal with.
Yes.
How can our listeners connect with you further if they'd like to do so?
Yes. So even though I just kind of talk shit about Instagram, I still do hang out there, but I am the very real, you know, and I post the realness, right? The real stuff, right? And for busy mamas just like me. So please find me on Instagram, at Allie_Ryan_. I also have a lot of my writings and small booklets and a lot of free resources on my website, allieryancoaching.com. And
Mhm.
please follow for, I have workshops coming up. I have a lot of really fun things that are in the works that are especially around really like this wholeness work that we are talking about,
Yeah.
right? Where we actually get to come back to ourselves And I would love to help any mama that could use a little hand.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Allie. It was a lovely conversation. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, we'll talk again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Emily. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Mamahood After Trauma. Take one insight from today, breathe, reflect, and keep healing out loud. Subscribe to the podcast for more stories, tools, and support. And remember, Mama, you're breaking cycles and rising with honesty. Until next time, mend the past so you can mama in peace.